What's up, everyone? This is Robert Horry, a.k.a. Big Shot Bob, and you watching Byron Scott's Fast Break Podcast.
We're back. Another episode of Byron Scott's Fast Break. Jay Wagers, Coach Byron Scott.
What's up, y'all?
And I got to go to the clipboard and bear with me.
Yeah,
bear with me
because this might take a little while, y'all. Just to let y'all know.
I got a lot on here, but he deserves all the credit in the world. Trust. Today on the podcast, we got a true NBA legend, a man who just wins, straight up just
Everywhere
wins.
he goes.
Let's take it back to Alabama, where he was named High School Player of the Year before staying close to home at the U of A. He went to U of A from 88 to 92. While there, won 3 SEC titles, reached the Sweet 16 twice, set a school record for block shots, and earned a spot on both SEC All-Defensive Team and All-Academic Team. So the brother is smart.
Yeah.
It's a smart brother we got right here.
Been smart for a long time.
Drafted 11th overall in 1992 by the Houston Rockets. Mm-hmm. He went on to carve out an incredible 16-year NBA career with the Rockets, the Suns, we won't count that one, Spurs, and of course, our beloved Lakers. Along the way, count them.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7 NBA championships. One of 4 players in NBA history to win titles with 3 different franchises, 2 in Houston, 2 in San Antonio, 3 in LA. And let's be real, he will always be remembered as a Laker.
Absolutely.
Nicknamed Big Shot Rob for a reason. He hit some of the most iconic clutch shots in playoff history. Beyond the rings, he's a versatile forward, a defensive anchor, the ultimate teammate, even if he wasn't afraid to throw a towel or 2 at a coach. Or even me.
Or even a player.
Or even me. Or a player. Please welcome to the show, Robert Horry!
So can I add something to that list?
Yeah, absolutely.
The only player that has done it twice when it comes to winning championships, because everybody on that list, you know, they've only had like one champ. Take LeBron, take John Sally, and then you take Danny Green. Those are the other 3 guys, but I'm the only one that has won multiple championships on each of those teams that he played on. So I'm in a category by myself.
Yeah. You by yourself, solo dog.
Yes,
that's dope.
Yeah,
that's dope.
So we'll start that with those championship rings. More than Jordan, Kobe, Shaq. Which one means the most to you and why?
It's hard to say which one, but there are 2 that make the top of the list. And the 95 championship is up there because you think about it, we were a 6 seed in the teams we had to beat, you know, Utah, Karl Malone, John Stockton, Phoenix, AC, Charles Barkley,
that's right.
Kevin Johnson.
That's right.
And everybody forgets.
Was Marley on that team too, right?
Dan Marley. And we went down 3-1 in that series.
I remember that.
So we had to come back. And then, of course, the next series had to play the MVP, David Robinson, Dennis Rodman. People forget Dennis was on that team. They had the best record in basketball. Sean Elliott, Avery Johnson. And then we went on to beat, I called them America's team. We swept them, Orlando. That's Penny, Shaq, 3D, you know, and that whole crew. So to me, that championship is so great because of the run. You know, everybody always talk about the journey, and you think about that. We didn't have home court advantage. We went into Utah, won game 5. That's when you only have 5 games. You know, beat Karl Malone, and there was a little controversy in the game where they tried to hold the clock. You know how it is to play in Utah. They tried to hold the clock and get them a little bit more time to score, and they didn't score.
Everybody's killing Utah, always.
Max. Everybody's killing Utah.
Then you think about being next series, we had to fly from Utah to Phoenix, being down 3-1 in that series, come back and win. And then we win that series, had to fly from Phoenix straight to San Antonio. San Antonio beat us 5 times that year. When I say beat us 5, they beat us 5 times because that's before the merger and everything where you had to play teams 5 times in your conference. And so we won 2 in their arena, then won 2 in our arena, and then we won 2 in a row, and we beat. Think that. And that's the time where everybody really got to know who Dream was, you know, the Dream Shake. And little small fact, that's where the name of Big Shot came in too. Because in game 1 of that series, I was, 0 for 8? And then, you know, they kicked it out to me, pump fake to the corner, took a dribble in, knocked down a shot. And actually, Craig Kilborn was on ESPN talking about Big Shot Bob, and that's how the name came about because of the one freaking shot I made at the time. But yeah.
Well, we're going to talk about that shot too.
Yeah. But then, of course, you think
we're going to talk about all your shots.
Yeah. And then the other ring that means a lot to me is the 16-1, man.
Yeah.
You got to think about that. Yeah, that one damn game against Philly.
Game one.
We just wanted to go 16-0. It'd be no doubt in anybody's mind that was the greatest run of all time because it wasn't like we beat some bad people. We're in the West. We smacked everybody in the West. The West has always been dominant. And then we come up and lose that one game to Philly in overtime. It makes me mad to this day to talk about it.
But 16-1, still the best ever.
It technically was 15-1. I'll correct
15,
you guys.
15-1. But still, that's still the best record in postseason.
No, 16-1.
That year, it was still 5 games.
Is it 15-1? I got it.
So 15-1.
It's 15-1.
I thought it was. I think that's when they changed it.
Whatever. It's still the best postseason, still to this day.
Yeah.
So you got to give Big Shot some props on that.
Yeah.
I want to ask you.
Trust me, I cried in the locker room with you. So that loss stung me too.
Yeah. I want to ask you about '94 when you were almost traded to the Pistons for Sean Elliott.
Yeah.
But the deal fell through. How did that affect you as a player, if at all? And what was it like to compete against that team that tried to trade you?
It was weird because I had a good year. I thought I had a good year my rookie year, and then the next year, my sophomore year, and you try to you trying to fight for a championship. We've had the best record in basketball so far. When I got traded, it was weird. But they were mad because I was deferring to a guy by the name of Hakeem Olajuwon. I was deferring to a guy by the name of Vernon Maxwell, Kenny Smith, and Otis Thorpe. I wasn't taking up my opportunities to shoot the ball. So I always say I was the first person ever to get traded for not shooting the basketball. Most of the time you get traded for shooting too much.
Too much, yeah.
And so when I got traded, I remember sitting there in Detroit and in the owner's box because we were getting ready to walk on the court, myself and Matt Bullard, who got traded with me. And they was like, wait. The trade hasn't gone through yet. I was literally in my uniform. We did shoot around, was laughing and joking with Isaiah Thomas, one of the guys. I said, this is one of the best guards in the game. He's like, I get to learn from him. I get to learn from Joe Dumars, who I just had an admiration for. And I was like, okay, this is what I can learn something. And then it was like, you want to sit on the bench or you want to sit in the stands? So I said, no, I want to sit in the stands. And I was just sitting there just thinking about where I wanted to take my career. How do I want to do this? Will this trade make me a better person, or will this trade affect me? And I was like, man, it's just business. And that's not, this is just business. My job is to play basketball. The better I get as an individual, the more money I will make because this is a business. And so it didn't affect me at all. When I went back, it kind of made them come to one game like, yo, can you stop shooting so damn much? Like, fuck that. You told me to shoot the ball, so I'm going to shoot it. And it actually opened it up more for me to get more shots. And it made it better for Dream because they was like, okay, where are you going to go? And I started moving around the floor. And then and also Rudy started running plays for me. And so he would give me the third play of every game was a play for me, or the second play was for me. I was like, okay, I'm going to go to work, right? And so he would do a 3-drop or give me a 3-down, which was a down pick with Otis, and I come off the screen for a shot, or I'll do a post-up. So it was so many things like that was like, okay, I'm here now. And like, you know that you have to use me. It ain't me not taking the shot. It's you giving me plays to take a shot.
Give me the opportunity.
And you guys won a title that year when you went back. So, I mean, you could sit here deep inside yourself and say, see, y'all won a title because I came back.
I did say that. I said, see, you would have never won this championship, without me, because there's certain, and don't get me wrong, it's no disrespect or slap to Sean Elliott in the face, because Sean do some things that I can't do, and vice versa. Like who's gonna block shots, me or Sean? Me. Who's gonna be a better on-ball defender, Sean? So it's one of those things where you have to say what is best for the team. They thought Sean was best for the team at the time, but then when we got into the playoffs and we went up against the Knicks in the final. I'm like, you think Sean will be able to guard Oakley? Nope. Mason? Nope. Charles Smith? Nope. Because hell, I had a hard time. I'm 6'9", And I always go back and say, y'all better be glad y'all kept me, because one thing was created out of them keeping me small ball. People forget we were the ones that started small ball. They moved me from the 3 to the 4. Just because nobody on our team could guard Charles Barkley. And that's when we were down 3-1. I know it's the next following year, but for them keeping me small ball was kind of invented. I know a lot of guys and especially the Phoenix Suns, like, well, we invented small. No, dog. We did it in Houston where we was, and me moving to a power forward from a small forward position was the start of small ball.
That's also when they came out with the word stretch.
Yeah.
Stretch four.
Yeah. This
and
man
Big
right
Bob
here.
moved out there a little bit, and they saw him making threes. It's like, oh, shit, he's a 4-man playing like a 3-man.
He started it.
Oh, it's a stretch four.
So you know one thing that's an interesting note about that year, the 95 year? They moved the 3-point line in.
Yeah, I remember that.
And so we were just gunning that mug. For Kenny, that's crazy because Kenny Smith and myself, we were top 5 in the league in 3-point percentage. And neither one of us got invited to the 3-point contest.
Really?
And ever since then, I said it's a popularity contest, man. It's like, okay, like who's popular or who's like, even nowadays they have to because they always talk about analytics and the numbers out there, but neither one of us got invited to the 3-point contest. Are you serious right now?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You've hit some of the coldest shots in NBA history to send teams home. And I remember walking into one of the pressers after a game, and Kobe was speaking. You had just hit one of the game winners. And he said, I don't know why y'all keep leaving this man open. Like, he said that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember that.
I remember that.
It's a good question.
Yeah.
It's a good question.
Why do teams leave you open like that?
I guess because you think about the people I play with. You think about Clyde and Dream. You think about Kobe and Shaq. You think about Manu and Tim. It's like you got to pick your poison. And sometimes, they think those big dogs or the most venomous people is always the small snake. You remember that? You think about the most venomous snakes in the world are the small snakes you don't think about. So that's why I look at myself. I'm like, okay, it's fine. You leave me alone. But I do remember my first time playing the Lakers when I was with the Spurs. And we were the very first game in our building, in San Antonio building, AT&T Center. And I'm sitting there and it was shot. And Kobe went over to Karl Malone. Do not leave this motherfucker. And he's like, Carl standing there and Kobe standing there. He's like looking at me like, no, I'm serious. Do not leave this motherfucker. You understand what I'm saying? and the funny part about it, he left me. But I missed the shot though. I missed the shot. It was one of those deep threes I was trying to get and it was like, and you could see Kobe like, no, like I told you not to leave, but I missed the shot. Crazy part is I missed the shot in the same spot that I say cost me $6 million because the previous year when we was playing the Spurs in the playoffs, I missed that buzzer. Kobe kicked it. I missed the buzzer. We lose game 5 in their building. They go up 3-2. And then we come home and lose to them in 6 games. So that's the same spot. That spot on that San Antonio floor was just a bad spot for me. Even when I played that, I shot everywhere else but that one spot. That triangle spot was bad.
Big Shot, you have won titles alongside of 4 of the greatest players ever played. Tim Duncan, Hakeem, Shaq, Kobe.
Yeah. I mean, amazing.
Give us like a little sentence or a paragraph on each of these guys, because they all were leaders.
Yeah.
They all were leaders. But give us a little bit on what made them different as leaders and what they brought to the team.
I think I'm going to start out with my favorite, Dream. I just think because Dream's, he's one, when they talk about lead by example, we all know Dream wasn't a big talker, but the way he came to work every day, the way he practiced, and the way he came, this approach to games, where you would never see Dream in like jeans and then like this during the game. He came with a suit on every time. It was the business of basketball because he was like, the way you conduct yourself and the way you present yourself is how you're going to come across on the floor. And it was the business of basketball. And it just was him. He was very professional, and he was just one of those guys that when he didn't talk much, but when he talked, you better listen. And I remember he and I, we had a lot of good conversations, and we became really, really close. And by the time, my 4th year, I'm yelling at Dream, and people looking at me like, you yelling at Dream? I said, yeah, because we have that bond. He knows that I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So
Did
he's
he
going
ever
to listen.
slap you?
He had no reason to slap me.
Yeah. Max said he slapped people.
That was the year before I got there, so I heard the story. Yeah. Only person I seen Dream slap was Randy Woods and the Clippers that time. Randy said something very disrespectful to Dream. Next thing, Dream put his hands on him real quick, and Randy ran off to go get Norm. You know, Norm. What's Norm's last name? He was the enforcer for the Clippers.
Ken Norman?
Yeah, Ken Norman.
Yeah.
Ken, he said, hey, Dream hit me. Like, who? Dream? Oh, you on your own. So people know you didn't mess with Dream. You know, people forget Dream would put his hands on you in a minute back when it was only charging $25 back then. So yeah. But then I think the bond that Shaq and Kobe and I had was a little bit better because we were all around the same age. And and I think Shaq and I had all those battles against each other in college, and then of course in the finals, and it was just a special bond that he and I had. And I think all the conversations that we used to have were during practice because we would shoot free throws together. And I would sit there every day. I'm like, dude, you gonna change your form again? Damn. Oh, this one gonna work. Damn, dude, you gonna change your form again? Like, and we used to sit there, and I would see him make so many free throws in a row. So you ever go back and look at some clips when he's at the free throw line? I would walk up to him, and I would always say something crazy to him, like, "Yo, man, you gonna make this one? You'd make it." Halle Berry, right, sitting right there. Somebody that, you make this, we fucking lose, man. And you don't get that big deal you want. It's just some crazy shit to get him to not be thinking about the free throw because
the formatics.
Because in practice we're not thinking, we just shooting.
Yeah.
And they're going in. So I would try to do something to get him to not to think and just shoot. And then of course, I think the one time that me and Kobe just really had a really heart-to-heart conversation was we were coming back somewhere out of the country. I don't remember where it was. And we was just talking, and we talked about Dream. We talked about, life after basketball. We talked about, and we were playing spades at the time because I taught him how to play spades. And so we were just talking, man. And it's and I think that how he and our relationship changed because I think Kobe was I'm 8. I played with 8. I didn't play with 24. 8 was all about being the best, trying, he didn't really let people in. He said, because that was kind of a distraction. I feel like, some people say, I can't let people in because those are distractions. Kobe had a blinder on being the best. He had one goal, being the best. And I think, he understands people's mental. And he's like sitting down, I would explain, okay, I like to talk to guys. Like I would talk, how do you want the ball? What's best for you? Coming off screen. We would talk basketball, but then we would talk life. We talk about our kids. We would talk about just, whatever it is, maybe music. And I think that was a different kind of bond that kind of where he understood who I was, I understood who he was, and then, everybody always says, well, Kobe never passed the ball. I said, because he ain't like y'all. He liked me. So I got the ball. So, and that's how it is. You trust people.
Yeah,
and I tell people all the time, when you're that good, Kobe, when you're that good, they got a choice here. We got a guy who's known for knocking down shots, a guy who doesn't come to practice that much and don't want to, don't put in the work, or a guy is just, hasn't had, the time in the league. Which one of those guys he's going to pass the ball to? Me. Because a bad shot for him and he's going to me is going to be a great shot. So he'll give me a bad shot for him. The next guy, no, it's still a worse shot. So Kobe better take the shot.
Turnover.
Yeah, and that's what people have to understand is like great players pass the ball to people they trust and know that they believe in. Because a great shot for them is an awful shot for someone that's taking that same shot.
Yeah.
And that's what people have to look at. And then I just think, in the end with Tim, that was a whole different monster, right? The dude wouldn't talk. I think it took him 2 years to let me in.
Really?
Yeah, man. Because he's just an island. He's an island by himself. And I think what really the bond of us that really happened is we just started talking video games. And then that's when we had the little PS. I forget what they call it, little things. We always play poker on the plane.
Wow.
So he knew I love playing Texas Hold'em. We play poker. And that's how we sitting there playing and talking and laughing. He's like, okay. He kind of let me in. You think about it. It's hard when all your career you going up against this guy that has to guard you, beating you, getting championships. You beat him, getting championships. All of a sudden now he's your teammate. You're like, I ain't like you. So now you're my team. Do I have to let you in? And I think it was hard for him to let me in. And then when he finally let me in, he's like, oh, okay. I know who this dude is. I see that he knows how to come into work and play hard. I understand who he is as a person. He's not, he's not the asshole I thought he was. He's an asshole on the court, but off the court, he's a really nice guy. And it was just one of those things that you have to understand is like, you have to let this person in. And you got to think about every athlete has an ego. I don't care who you are. You have some type of ego. And when you had these tough battles. Think about the battles we had with them. When I first got to San Antonio, I went to a restaurant. I had people look at me like, you a spy. I'm like, what the fuck you talking about spy? You just here to mess up our team. I'm like, what are you talking about? And in my first year, we didn't do it.
Lakers.
Yeah, in my first year, I didn't have a good year. And then I literally, next year, I signed a 1-year deal at the league minimum. And that's in 2005. And everybody's like, oh shit, okay. It just took me a while for them to learn me and for me to learn them. But it's just hard when you go to new teams and play with all these great players because everybody's different. You got Dream, who won't talk much. You got Shaq, who talks a lot. Then you got Tim, who's hot and cold. It's just, but you got to be who you are at the end of the day. And I think once people know that you're a good person, they let you in.
Yeah.
Well, it also helps when Ginobili hits you in that corner and you knocked out that game winner.
And funny part about that, you think about it, as hot as I was that game, that play still wasn't run for me.
We got a sponsor, Fuel Station, Rob, and we're going to give you this bottle right here, courtesy of Fuel Station. It's a magnetic bottle, branded with your name. CTG on it as well. You can stick it to a golf cart. You can stick it to gym if you're heading to the gym or whatnots. We're going to be having these. We're going to be selling these as well. Yeah.
It can be.
Yeah, absolutely. And it'll keep it cold for you.
Put your favorite beverage in there, guys.
CTGsports.com is where you're going to be able to pick these things up. So I'm going to take you back to 97 in your infamous year with the, it wasn't even a full year in Phoenix. I don't think it was a full year, was it?
No, it was 2 months, I don't think.
Heated moment with Danny Ainge, towel to the face. A few days later, you were a Laker.
Yep.
Were you trying to get the hell up out of fucking Phoenix?
Dude.
Or was it just pure frustration in the moment?
All the above. All the above. And I really mean that, man. You talk about culture.
Yeah.
So when we got traded to the Phoenix Suns, Sam, Cassell, Mark Bryant, Chucky Brown, all my boys, we get down, we practicing, dudes don't want to practice, dudes don't want to even come to practice. And it was just like, no wonder we were kicking your ass in the playoffs because you guys don't practice hard. And it's all about what we always say we got to make our practices so hard that the games are easy.
Yep.
Man, these dudes are sitting on the sideline. I think we would have had cigars and they'd have been smoking cigars, man. It was just, the culture was this bad. And it was just, I didn't want to be there. At the time, my daughter was sick too. And I was ending. It was like I had 1 year left on me. It was like on my deal. I'm like, okay, I'm out of here at the end of this. I said they could offer me all the money in the world. I wasn't gonna stay in Phoenix because I didn't like the city. I didn't like Colangelo. I didn't like the team. I didn't like the uniform. It was nothing I liked. The fans I liked. They were great. They were there. They're gonna always be behind. The fans were great, but just the culture there was just not what I wanted. And so it was just. And then next thing you know, he said the wrong words to me at the wrong time.
So Big Shot, what was those words that he said that made you say, fuck you?
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
So I gotta give you a little backstory. So at the time, Cotton, God rest his soul, he was a coach. We getting our asses kicked day by day. We playing the Chicago Bulls. We trying to run the triangle. And so we get beat by 20, 30, whatever it is. And so in practice, next day, when I triangle this, I triangle that. Then I raised my hand. I'm like, yo, man, can we talk about our defense? Our defense sucks. And Danny Ainge was in charge. And he's like, defense? You the worst defensive player on the team. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I literally stood up and did this. Wait one motherfucking minute. I said, you got Wesley Person sitting over there. Danny Manny right there. And God rest his soul. Wayman Tisdale right here. You saying I'm the worst thing? Man, fuck you. He wasn't the coach then, right? And so 2 days later, Cotton says, I quit. Cotton quits, and then Danny becomes the head coach. I'm like, fuck. Same time Cotton quits, they traded away my boy, Sam Cassell, AC Green, who me and AC became really close at the time. Yep. And then I was like, I remember Sam coming, Horry, man, I just got traded. I was like, please let me, I'm with you. Please say I'm with you. Please say I'm with you. I was like, where you going? He said, to Dallas. I said, who in the trade? I don't fucking care, man. I'm just out. I'm so happy. I'm like, fuck you, man. And so I called my agent. I'm trying to figure out. He said, no, you still there. And then, and then Danny Ainge had the nerve to say, well, we traded away Michael Finley, my boy, Sam Cassell, you're my boy, AC Green, my boy, so you can have more time. I'm like, okay. So the next day we in with the Celtics. I start. I'm playing pretty damn good. I get a steal, hit a three, get a block shot. 3 minutes in, I'm like, Danny Manning come to get me? What? Oh fuck no. And so I said, why you sub me? He said, shut the fuck up and go sit down. I said, and I'm walking. I said, did he just say what I think he said? So I went down and said, who are you fucking talking to like that? He said, you. I said, man, fuck you. And that's when I threw the towel in his face and went down. And so, man, at the end of the game, we in the locker room. So you got Chucky Brown, Mark Bryant, me sitting next to each other. Joe Klein comes in there. Man, we don't fucking do that around here. I don't know. Man, you shut the fuck up, you big-headed motherfucker. I mean, y'all got to excuse my language. I'm hot. In your locker room, I'm hot. And so I'll whoop your big-headed ass right now. And Mark Bryant and Chuck, yeah, he jumps up. So basically, it's the 3 Houston guys against the whole Suns. I'm like, and I loved him to death. He was the only one that was really nice to me on the team. Wayman Tizzle said, like, guys, calm down. Danny Manning was like this. I'm looking around like, this is all you punk motherfuckers right here ain't gonna do nothing. And the only person that calmed me down, because I was about to tear some locker room up, I love this guy, Paul Silas. Like, Rob, calm down. Let's go in the back. Silas. So he took me to the room. He was like, I said, no, man, fuck this. And I'm hot. So, and I'm usually a mild-mannered guy, right? I'm hot because it's just, I hated Danny Ainge. I hated the situation I was in. I was missing my kids. There was just a lot of stuff going through me at the time, right? Mm-hmm. And so I was like, man. And so, of course, after everything died down, I wasn't even going to get on the bus. I was just going to find my own way back to wherever I was going to go. So, Paul said, come on, get on the bus. We get on the plane, we go back. I get suspended for 2 games. And then Danny Ainge called me after the suspension, say, hey, I just want to let you know, I probably just won you another championship. I'm like, why? He says, because I just traded you to the Lakers. Click. I hung up the phone. In my car, was driving to LA. I didn't even know who I got traded for, who I was with. I didn't give a shit. I was out. Hey, I ain't gonna lie,
so
man.
So that's how you found out you got traded. Danny called you and said, I probably helped win you another championship.
You didn't even talk to your agent or nothing?
No, Danny called me. He called me.
And you didn't say nothing. You just hung up right after he said,
yeah, thank you,
got traded to the Lakers.
I called one of my buddies up and said, man, get on that next Southwest flight here. And we're packing these 2 cars up and we driving to LA. I didn't know where I was staying, where I was going, because he was from LA. I'm following him. Got here and we stayed, the airport. We used to always stay by the airport, the hotel by the airport. And that's where I was at for about 2 months till I figured out where to stay in LA. So,
wow.
But after that trade, though, that's how me and B. Scott became good friends, because he was the one that kind of, gave me the big brother hug and took me over to his house, meet his family. And it was like, see, this is old school basketball. Right? These are guys that's going to, it's a brotherhood. It's a whatever you need, I got you. And that's what B. Scott was there for me.
Well, first of all, I had seen him play, so I knew this kid was going to come in and help, like big time. And he did. And I just loved the way, I loved the type of person he was. I loved the way he played the game. He was long, athletic, could shoot it, fearless, could defend, but he was such a good dude. So I was like, shit, when he got on team, I was like, man, come here, man. What's up, Robert? How you doing, dog? Try to, just bring him into the family. That's what I do. But I want to go back. I mean, that was a great moment, obviously, but I want to go to the moment where Big Shot, how did it feel? You set an NBA record.
Oh, man.
7 straight threes, or the most threes ever without a miss in a game, right? I've been in that zone where, you just feel you can't miss a shot. But not from 30 damn feet. Not where you in a zone like that. So how did it feel to be in that type of zone? Because that hasn't been, I don't think that's been done since.
Yeah,
still that record still stands.
And as much as they shoot threes today,
but go figure.
They just gun them. Taking threes is a great 3, a good 3, or okay 3. I was always about taking a great 3 because the 3 is an important shot. And I go back to that game in Utah, and it was like, I was just in a zone. I remember Nick Van Exel was getting me the ball. Shaq was getting me the ball. And Dale House was running plays for me. I remember we used to run this one play. It was where, as a 4, you would go over and set a cross pick for Shaq, and then Nick would set a down pick, and then Eddie Jones would set another pick. And I came off that. I'm knocking down 3, falling down, feeling good, talking shit. He still getting our ass kicked though, but yeah, it's one of those zones, man, where it don't matter. Like, you can just, everybody knows how Steph shoots and run back. You know, that's when you could throw, run back. But me, I used to like to marinate in mines. And I felt like when I'm just sitting there and holding it and looking at you like, yeah, this is what it's all about. It's a worse taunt than running back, So I just like, it's just a great feeling, man. You know how it is when a shooter get in that zone and when players are looking for you, that's even a better high. Yeah. Because you could be in the zone and in plays, but when your teams are trying to go out their way to get the ball to you, oh man, that's the best feeling.
Yeah,
that's amazing. You were part of 3 dynasties: Rockets, Lakers, Spurs. Mm-hmm. What were the biggest cultural differences between those championship runs?
It is so weird. Nothing. The one thing that we all did was we appreciated one another. If you look at what we did in Houston, we appreciated one another. We played hard. We were always a top defensive team. Mm-hmm. You look at the Lakers, we were always a top defensive team. Yep. And when you go to the Spurs, we were a top defensive team. But the one thing, it was a bond like no other. And I think we all used to go to dinner together on the road. We used to just do so many things together on the road to solidify us as a bond, because you think about it, most time we go on the road, you going over here, you going over there, you stay in the hotel. Be like, no, dog, we going to go to this restaurant. We already got, if it was like Boston, Rick will already have everything set up. We going to Oakland, B. Shaw have everything set up. So when we get there, we going to dinner from 7 to 8. And if it was somebody, we're going to go to a spot, we might go to a spot, but we're going to be back by 12 or 1. We ain't going to stay out too late. We ain't going to drink. Because it was just one of those things because we knew how important it was to not to let your brother down, man. You didn't want to you didn't want to let your brother down. You want to play as hard as you could. And just enjoy the moment. So the culture was the same. And B. Scott, you probably can attest to this. When you have a good team, everybody has a certain feel for one another. And the defense is a oneness. Everybody always want to talk about offense, but defense back then will win championships. Because at the end of the day, there are going to be nights where people are going to be on fire. And you got to figure out how to stop them. Because players in the NBA are too talented across all generations. And you got to find a way to stop them. You got to have that one guy that can either force it, block a shot. You think about my first championship. We win that game because Dream comes out and blocks a shot on the guard, and we win the game. So it's just about having that moment to have that one big play defensively.
I think if you go back,
John Starks. I'm trying to think of.
Yeah, John. Yeah, you can almost go back 20 plus years and look at the NBA champion. And look at where they were defensively. Usually they always in the top 5.
Yep.
Always. So as much glory as we give offense, and not we, but the media and the fans give offense, we still know defense wins championship. If you're a top 5 defensive team and you got a good offense, you got a chance to win championships. As simple as that.
Yeah.
So it's always been that way.
And usually most of those championship teams have a true enforcer on the team, even to today's game, Draymond Green when Golden State was going through their run as well. So I think an enforcer on the team, and back when you played, it was either Rick Fox or
Shaq.
AC, no matter what. Yeah. So it's always going to be defense. As much as we glorify offense, the defense is still something that's a key to winning championships.
You got to have that one, key defender that's going to put the offense aside. So, okay, I can like put that to the side and focus on defense. You think about, I think about our Lakers team. You think about Rick, you think about Kobe, you think about Shaq, you think about myself, you think about AC. We had some hell of a defensive players. It wasn't just, and D-Fish. It wasn't like a team defense. We had individual defense and team defense. So we were pretty damn good. I think about my first team. I think about Vernon. People forget how freaking good Vernon was defensively. Then you had Dream, defensive player. You had myself, and that's one of the things that I think about when it comes to defense. And I don't know. I never look because it'll make me mad because you go back. And I think about when people come into the league, it's, I want to win championships. I want to do this. I want to be that. I told myself, I want to be defense. I make an all defensive team. Mm-hmm. And I never made it. And I was so pissed because I was one of those guys that had 100 steals, 100 blocks, and I never made a team. I'm like, why the fuck did I make a team?
What else do you got to do?
Yeah, I'm looking around the league. I'm like, this guy's not a better defender than me. This guy, I got to guard 2s, 3s, and 4s. This guy only guarded him 2s. And so it was just me. I was like, it got to a point where I realized that if I could go back in time, I would go to the Rockets and be like, yo, man, you need to support me for defensive player, one of all defensive team. Yeah. Because That's the only time now because the media is lazy. They are so lazy. Like, who gonna win this year? Who should I vote for? Who? Oh yeah, vote for him.
Popularity.
Yeah, it still is. It still is. Big Shot, I want to take you back 23 years ago, 2002, in the Staples Center at that time. You know, you hit this shot against the Sacramento Kings that Vlade Divac said, just a lucky shot. And your reply was, he better check my resume because you had hit so many of them. Where does that shot? I mean, that shot is still iconic. Everybody still remembers that shot to this day, and most people remember where they were when they were watching the game when you hit the shot, right?
Yes. I can tell you where I was.
Yeah, you were on the bench somewhere on the court because you was in his arms.
He's the first one. I was the first one there.
Big Shot had his arms down like this, looking down, and you were like all over him.
It's the highest I've ever jumped in my life.
Yeah, you only got to about right here. But anyway.
I just remember him hugging me, and I couldn't move my arm. Like,
I bear hugged him.
Oh, he had him wrapped. Ain't no doubt about it. But where does that shot in all? Because you hit so many, and we're gonna go over damn near every big shot you hit in your career, which is a lot of them. Most players in their lifetime wouldn't hit this many shots. They wouldn't even take them. First of all, but where does that shot rank amongst your greatest shots of all time?
It's number one.
Yeah.
It's number one by far because I grew up a Laker fan. And I grew up and I almost, big Magic Johnson fan. I almost shed a tear when all you guys pull hamstrings and I'm like, no, not my Lakers. And then, and then having the chance to put on the purple and gold and to do it at home, and of course, Shaq, Kobe, them chant my name. Yeah. And so that to me, and it still gives me goosebumps to this day. And I think that overhead shot of me hitting the shot and then seeing, was it Dante? Was it Dante on the other end, right?
Yeah, ran across Dante was running across the court.
Right, all I see is Dante running across the floor, him hugging me, and then Mark Madsen going, "You said we would win. You said we would win." And so, all these things just come crashed in, man. It's so much joy to make a shot at home. And you think about it, in Staples Center, in a Laker uniform, when you got these iconic players you playing for, an iconic coach playing, it's just so many things that makes that number one. And don't get me wrong, all the other shots are still my babies, but nobody got a chance to chant my name because you think my first shot I made was in Seattle on the road. Then you think about the Portland shot, Kobe was on the road. Like so many other things were on the road, but this was the only one. Maybe I forgot the Houston was at home, but this was at home in a Laker uniform. So, and you think about if you go back and you have how loud Staples Center was after that, the only other time it's been that loud is when Kobe retired. I don't think it'll ever get that loud again. Yeah. So
I'll say this because as we all have, I've seen that shot over and over and over, and every time I've seen it, I've just smiled about it. Right, just like when he hit it. So when you hit it, I just did, both hands, but I just both hands. But I go back now when I see it, I look at your reaction. I still remember your reaction, and of course Jay jumping all over you and everybody coming down. And then I'll go and look at it again, and I see how, like you just said, how the fans, how that arena exploded.
Yes.
It was like, oh my God! It was it's one of the greatest shots that I've seen.
And I think I have this. I think it was the press guide or something the following year that had The Rock on the side. And I've been trying to find him to sign it, just made shine because this is the one time you was rooting for me instead of vice versa. When I'm rooting for you in one of your movies or WWE, but it was, to me, it's still, I tell you, it still gives me goosebumps, and I still get free drinks in Vegas because people come up to me like, "Oh, I know where I was. Let me buy you a shot, big shot." So
people ask me all the time. I worked for the Lakers for 20 years. And people ask me, tell me your top moments. And, most people think I would name something with Kobe, yada, yada. But it is actually that moment right there. It truly is that moment right there.
Is it because you was involved in the moment? Because
I was involved in the other ones. No.
You was about to squeeze the breath like, I can't breathe.
I was involved in all the other moments as well. But no, that one right there was just, I literally was standing up. You got to keep this in mind. Kobe missed a floater that he would normally make 90% of the time.
Shaq missed a
short
point blank.
He barneyed a layup that he should have made.
He alligated that one, boy. Him got short. He just,
But it's funny. In 2005, Tim did the same thing in that series.
That's true.
So Biggs are like
impression situation.
It's like, try to get it up quick. Yeah.
You know, I mean, it was probably the greatest moment of my life. So thank you. And by the way, if we don't win that game, we probably don't win the title that year.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Talking about that, you're talking about your shots, and I want everybody to bear with me. I want you to rank your top 5, because we do a top 5 here, biggest clutch shots playoff in your mind. And I'm going to read them. Okay. I have them all here. So everybody bear with me. This is going to take a second. May 22nd, 1993, Western Conference semifinal, Game 7, Houston at Seattle, with the score tied at 91, late in the fourth quarter and the shot clock winding down. As a rookie, you took a pass from teammate Hakeem and knocked down a mid-range jumper to give the Rockets a 2-point lead with 32 seconds left remaining in regulation. That's one. May 22nd, 1995, Western Conference Final, Game 1, Rockets at the Spurs. You hit a jumper with 6.5 seconds left to give Houston a 94-93 win over the Spurs. June 11th, 1995, NBA Finals, Game 3, with the Rockets up 101-100 with 20 seconds left and the shot clock winding down. Hakeem kicks it to you, and you hit a 3 over Horace Grant to give Houston a 104-100 lead and to win that game. June 10th, 2001, NBA Finals, Game 3, Lakers at Philadelphia. This is the first title with the Lakers. With the series lead at 1.
First title with the Lakers was
No, Pacers. It was 2000. So it was the second year.
Yeah, second year.
With the Sixers were down 89-88 with under a minute left. Brian Shaw found you wide open in the corner. You hit a 3-pointer with 47 seconds left to give the Lakers a 92-88 lead. We should note you had been 44% from the free throw line in the playoffs to that point, but you knocked down.
Why you gotta bring that
up? Because I'm gonna finish with this. You knocked down 4 clutch free throws in the final minutes of the game to seal the victory.
Big shot, Mr. Big Shot. Hey.
April 28th, 2002, Western Conference first round game, Game 3, LA at Portland. Mm-hmm. Down 91-89, 10 seconds left remaining. Kobe drives on Ruben Patterson, kicks it out to you. And of course, you hit that game-winning 3 with 2 seconds left. Boom. May 26, 2002, we just talked about it. It's the biggest shot in Laker history in my mind versus Sacramento Kings. Kobe short arms it. Shaq short arms it. The ball slapped out to you. Vlade talking nonsense. You knocked down the 3-pointer to seal that victory. June 19th, 2005, NBA Finals, Game 5, Spurs at Detroit. Inbounded to Ginobili, who went to the corner, but 2 Pistons jumped on him immediately. He kicks it back out to you on the left wing. You hit a 3-pointer with 5 seconds left to give the Spurs a 96-95 victory. You would think they would know, but they didn't know. You ended up scoring 21 points in the fourth quarter and overtime to carry the Spurs. That's clutch, by the way. April 30th, 2007, Game 4, Spurs at the Nuggets with the Spurs up 90-89, 35 seconds left. Tony Parker drove into the paint, drawing his defender and your defender. I believe it was Marcus Camby, if I'm not mistaken.
Marcus Camby.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Parker then passed to you on the right wing. Then you hit that 3-pointer for the Spurs win. All right, I just gave you 8 different scenarios. 9?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Rank those top 5. We know number 1.
Yeah, it's funny, that shot you just mentioned. It was some guy behind the bench talking so much trash. And so I had to shoot it really high over Camby, and it hit nothing but the bottom of the net. And I went down, looked like, I was like, so number 2 by far is the Spurs moment, because what you didn't mention in that, Eminem was behind the bench talking so much trash, and I was talking trash back to him. So that's number 2, just for the fact that 21 points, and then Tim short arm and making us go into overtime, and Rasheed, who I consider one of the best players I ever played against, leads me, and Tayshaun almost blocking that. You talked about earlier about the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
I have that one photo of me making that shot, and that's the best picture ever. The crowd like, no. And you got one guy like this, like, and it's before it even goes in, so they knew. So that's number 2. Number 3, I think goes back to that rookie one in Seattle,
the Rockets.
Yeah, and people don't talk about it because we lost that game, but to
Seattle.
me, it was, everybody talk about a welcome to the league moment.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that was a welcome to the league moment. That the fact that Dream found me and I was able to knock down a little mid-range jumper against Seattle, who were our nemesis that practically owned us. That's Sean Kemp, Derek Key, Gary Payton,
Deadlift
Cage,
was on that team.
That team was incredible.
They had a nice team.
Just to do that, and what's the one 2 guard used to kill us all the time? Crap. He has a farm now, but anyway.
Ricky Pierce.
Ricky Pierce. That has to be number 3 to me, just because at this stage of my career, it was like gaining confidence. Number 3. And, of course, in the next one is the one I hit over Horace Grant, because I was with the Rockets and during the finals. And then my last one, is 5th, is the Portland one. Just because the corner, because, that goes to show you how everybody says Kobe doesn't pass. He passes to me. Yeah. And I remember, Sean Kemp over there, and you see Damon Stoudemire with the towel, like hitting at the floor next to me. And then I hit it. And then the first person, of course, to hug me is Shaq. And so it's just that, to me, those are the top ones. And if you ask me tomorrow, that list might change. That the Kobe one might move up to number 3, and the other one move up. But the top 2 are always going to be, number 1, of course, could be the Lakers shot. Number 2 is, what I did in 2005, Game 5 in the Spurs, because like I said earlier, no plays were run for me. That was all me taking bad shots. If you look at every shot I took, it was a bad shot. I mean, like I was like just throwing it up there because I'm hot. So those are top 2 of all time.
Okay, all right.
We got more with Big Shot Rob. Some of y'all call him Big Shot Bob, Mr. Robert, Horry. Part 2 of this episode, Byron Scott Fast Break, coming up. Thank you for watching Byron Scott's Fast Break. If you like what you saw, here's some more videos. And while you're at it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.